And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
What difference at this point does it make?
Blue Monday, how is Blue Monday?
Again, they're back.
Got to work like a slave all
Bypass, and he's still at it.
day. Come Tuesday.
And that's what we're going to talk about now for a year? How depressing.
I got no time.
Welcome to the Savage Nation. If you just joined me after being away for a vacation, you missed an awful lot because I was not on vacation. So now I have a story to tell you because I didn't know whether I would tell you this or not tell you. I said it's too personal and do you really want to tell it to them, and must everything in radio be so revealing? Well, let me tell you what happened yesterday because I had a bad thing happen to me yesterday, and there's a motto, there's something to the story that has to be told. I went to San Francisco for a couple of hours, and I came back, and I figured I'd stop in this Indian dump I always go to, naturally. I can't, certain cars can't pass a gas pump. I can't pass an Indian buffet. So this Indian dump that I go to, see, here's the problem. I grew up poor, and I like peasant food. It tends to be better food. Poverty food is good food, by and large. That's why we all like it. We like peasant food. So I like buffets because the quality is, it's very good. Why? Because poor people won't pay money for bad food. They're not like the elites of America who don't know what they're eating and need a colon bag because they're eating such garbage in fancy restaurants. The poor will actually demand better food than the rich. The rich don't know what they're eating and they don't care. All they want to do is get drunk. And so I like peasant restaurants. Go to the buffet, have Teddy with me. They know me. They know the dog. I've been eating here off and on for years. I have the meal. I ate 2 plates full instead of 1. Because I don't like them abusing people. I gave them a double pay. Instead of $8.95 for the buffet, I gave him $15. I said I went twice. I don't want the guy to lose money. All right, big deal. So I'm benevolent. I walk out of the restaurant. The dog starts yanking me this way, that way. 10 pounds like a sled dog. Pulling, yanking. Drives me nuts. I didn't have time to blow my nose because the spices open up your head right away. It's one of the reasons I like it. As I'm blowing my nose and saying, Teddy, stop yanking me already. Because I grew up in New York, I scan, wherever I am, I scan around 360, and I look far down the road. I scan down the end of the motel where this restaurant is, and there's a wood lot, an empty lot, and there's a skanky motorhome there, not very good looking, a real crapper, a junker, and lo and behold, I see 2 Presa Canario-sized dogs who look at me and look at my dog, and I say, oh my God, I'm dead. They're off leash. And no one's there. They had long leashes on them, but they were not held. And they start to come towards the dog. I know what they wanted to do, kill the dog in my arms. I grab Teddy. I put him next to my head. I turn my body to the dog, and I start yelling at the top of my voice. I try to use the only weapon I had, which was my command voice. The dogs didn't respond. Killer dogs don't respond to command voices. They're murderers. They're killers. These breeds should have been exterminated a long time ago, by the way. They're designed for drug dealers and murderers. They never should be allowed on the street. Presa Canarios tore a woman apart in San Francisco 15 years ago in a hallway. I couldn't reach for my weapon. I didn't have time to do it. It was too fast. It was in the blink of an eye. So I started to yell, stop, whatever I was yelling. I don't even remember. Then I see the 2 skank guys who own the dogs in the trailer come down. I scream, get your dogs, blah, blah, blah. They're going to kill my blah, blah, blah. One of the dead-eyed drug dealers, I would think, comes galloping towards his dog. I swear to God as my witness, it was like in a blink of an eye. The dog was right on me, a foot away from my dog, and he grabbed him. And I thought about it. I said a few words, a lot of words. Then their old ladies, their disgusting white trash girlfriends, were going up the steps of this cheap motel with garbage bags filled with their clothing to give you some idea of the type. And they scream at me, your dog was off the leash. Our dogs are sweethearts. You should put your dog to sleep. In other words, they reversed everything. You get the picture? This is how trash is. This is what happens when you associate. You get anywhere near trash, things go bad. I get in my car, I drive away, and I start thinking about it. I said, what just happened here? I said, well, what happened here is your dog would be dead had you not grown up in New York and you didn't scan constantly forward and backward and always look at your surroundings. I'm still a good Boy Scout. In other words, if I were an average American, my age, I'd come out of a restaurant, have a toothpick in my mouth, and I'd be looking down at my feet. I wouldn't even know what hit me, in other words. But because I don't act that way, I'm always looking and watching. I see these dogs, as I say, and I see them. Now, this is the killer part. They didn't run towards the dog. Had they run, by the way, I'd be dead too. They walked towards my dog, simply like a predator would. You know that real predators don't even have to run. When they see a fixed target, they don't even waste any energy. Do you know that? And my dog, so I get home. I said to Teddy the whole ride home, I said, do you know what just happened? You almost died. I always warn you about bad boys. I always talk to him about big dogs as bad boys because he is so full of life. He doesn't fear anything. Little dogs generally don't fear anything. They're stupid. And he runs, pulls, jumps, nothing bothers him. And that's why we love them, because they go out into the world with such confidence and they're little heroes to us, and we love them, right? I looked at him and I said, Teddy, do you understand what just happened? I don't know if he does. We got home, locked the door. He laid on the couch. He wouldn't eat. He must have known what happened. He wouldn't eat all day. He must have known what happened. And I said, Teddy, do you understand you almost died? Do you understand that Dad saved your life? Do you understand why I tell you not to run away? Do you understand when I say stop, you stop? Yeah, I guess he understood. So I haven't felt this yet. I didn't have any pounding heart. I didn't have any PTSD. I just like a delayed reaction. I'm not really feeling it. I'm mentally understanding what happened, but I didn't have the reaction that one would normally get from a near miss like that. This was like a plane crash. It was like surviving a plane crash. Because I'm telling you as I sit here, there's a message in this story. There's several messages. What's the message? Well, I sorted through it, and here's the message. Things happen to us when you least expect them. That's number one. Out of nowhere. That's T-boned in an intersection, right? You're driving along listening to music and bango, you're dead, or someone in your family, God forbid. When you least expect it, something's going to come at you. That's number one. You cannot prepare or plan for anything. Number two, the outcome is in God's hands. That's the whole message. So what is God trying to say to me with this? I'm not sure yet. It's that simple. I don't know. But this was a message to me as sure as I'm sitting here. Not from a person, but from fate. And maybe fate saying, look, Mike, you've had a good run. You know, you've been really lucky so far. You've skated on thin ice your whole life and haven't fallen through. Or if you have, you pulled yourself up. You were able to get to thicker ice and get yourself out and warm yourself up and go on with your life. But, you know, sometimes, I don't know, maybe your luck runs out. I don't know if it has. Maybe that's what I'm seeing here. Who knows? I don't know what it means, but this is the closest call I've had in over 20 years. I had one years ago. The last really close call I had that I know about, you remember I once said the cat has 9 lives? And I used up about seven of them. I said that a few years ago. I can recall every one of them. I was hit by a car in the Bronx when I was a boy around 11 and bounced off a fender. Nothing happened to me. I was dazed. To this day, I joke that maybe I was killed and this is all a dream. I don't know. Can't tell. That was one. And there were a whole string of other like accidents that didn't take me down. And then I was once in Fiji and I worked in a village and I worked late at night. I told you about that one. And an instinct in me said, I've got to get out of this hut. I got to get out of this bure. I've got to go. I got to go. And it was all Fijian people. We were up all night drinking Yangona, which is kava kava. And they were telling their stories in Fijian. And I was sitting there with them as a young ethnobotanist. And something in me said, you've got to leave. I don't know what it was. I still to this day don't know. I got up and I said to my friend Domenico, my Fijian guide, I said, Domenico, I got to go back to the main place I'm staying in. I can't stay here tonight. He said, Michael, you can't go. He said, it's a stormy night and you're going to walk along a cliff to get back. I said, I don't care. He said, I cannot go with you. He said, I won't go out in this weather. I said, I've got to get out of here. And I walked back alone, hugging the cliff, got back. The next day, he came back to my village, and he said, come back with me. And he made me look at what I walked on. It was a 6-inch ledge with about a 300-foot drop, so far as I remember. Now, what angel was guiding my feet, I don't know. I would say that was a near miss. And there have been others along the way that I know of. Maybe we have near misses and we don't even know about them. Maybe there are angels that protect us from the unknown, near misses. I don't know about that either. Because I do know that there are many worlds and one God. That I do know. And since there are many worlds, there could be many events and forces on this planet that we know nothing about, that we like to deny with our rational minds and say, no, it doesn't. The world is what it is. Well, you can look at it that way if you want. If it makes you safer and if it makes you feel safer and better, that's fine. But that event yesterday was a turning point for some reason in my life, and I don't know what it is yet. But I'm pretty sure I'll know very soon, and I'll be right back on the Savage Nation.